Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice. Because today I am going to be doing a review of episodes 5 through 8 of Spider Noir. Excuse me. I obviously finished the series, and if you watched my previous video, I loved the first 4 episodes, the first half of the season. Did the second half continue to be as good or improve over the first? Well, I have to say, yes, it stayed as good, and there's and at some points got even better. The quality was high, and which was kind of surprising considering how Sony has been doing with their live action products with comics. I said this in the last one. If you look at the animated stuff that they did for like the Spider-Man all the Spider-Man stuff, incredible, really great stuff. If you look at their live action things, Kraven the Hunter, Morbius, the third and maybe second Venom movies, so when I started watching this, I had that in mind, and then there was also Nicolas Cage, because there are certain things you expect when you have a Nicolas Cage movie. Just completely over the top and just weird stuff. This show, and I've said that before, put those to rest. Nicolas Cage did a fantastic job and didn't do the old weirdo stuff that he normally did. He did just a fantastic job of being normal, shall I say. The character in this show is not normal in the sense that he's got spider powers and that he has some quirks, but it wasn't just this over-the-top type of stuff. He did a really good job and didn't pull a Nicolas Cage, if you understand what I'm getting at. Seasons 5 through 8, shows 5 through 8, continued to improve delve into the mystery. There's very good character development, even on those. Each show kind of added new things to it. They might have a couple, as in it is with certain characters, they make a little bit of progress, they might fall back. You find out more about the motivations of everything in here, because this was more of a mystery type thing than it was anything else. It did have a lot of the superhero tropes, and it leaned heavily into them. But he was a private investigator first and foremost, so he's solving the mystery of the people's motivations. So he had to delve into that and all the machinations of everything. But there's also the superpowered stuff, and you're going into the history of the one thing that is completely different than, say, the regular Spider-Man thing. A lot of these, or at least the 3 or 4 bad guys in this one, and Ben Riley all got their powers in a similar way. So all their power sets were connected in a, all except for Ben Riley, they were all done in a German experiment in this set in the 50s, no, not in the 50s, in the 30s. During Prohibition, that was the word I was trying to look for in the earlier video, Prohibition and the Depression. They had all fought in World War One, and all of them except for Ben Riley had been captured by the Germans and experimented on. And Ben Riley helped liberate them. And that's how he got his powers. He was bitten by a guy who was being experimented on it. And that is what made him different from some of the other characters. And I don't want to go in too much because that is a one of the things in the show that they're exploring, talking about. So you're over the period of the show, you're finding out more and more and more. You're trying to decipher who. There's only like one or two just flat out bad guys in this thing. Everyone else has motivations, but that doesn't necessarily make them a bad guy. They're trapped in the situations, and how far they're willing to go, what's going to do this, what's going to do that, and that is one of the things they explore, especially in 5 through 8, is they get more and more into the interpersonal connections and fighting the politics of it, the crime of it, what leads to people doing this, what decisions they're making, and how far someone's willing to go on this. And it all kind of ended the way that I thought it would, because it has to end. Certain things have to happen at the end of the season. Certain people have to be a certain way, and so it did. But the relationship between Ben Riley and the Hardy character, female the Hardy, I loved the way they ended it, because it was. I don't want to get into details, but I was like, damn, that was awesome. I loved that. It was kind of cold. I don't want to get into too much of it, but this is just as good as this. 4 shows were just as good, if not a tad bit better, than the first 4. Watch it in the black and white, because this is a noirish show. I mean, not just because it is called noir, but you have the old noir detective type of story that is set in a superhero setting. So it is shot that way. It has that just the beautiful cinematography that is done for those type of shows. And like I said, I've seen pictures of them of the color, and they have a very stylish way of doing it, the color correction on that. But watch it in black and white. That makes it even better. And they did, I'm assuming, set it up for a season 2, and I hope they do, because this was a great show. So I'm recommending it. I'm going to give it a, I don't know what I gave. the last one, but I think it was a 5 out of 5, and I'm going to give this one a 5 out of 5 because they certainly redeemed themselves. Sony certainly redeemed themselves on live action. And I did pick up a Spider Noir trade paperback the other, like Saturday when I went out. And this is entirely different than the book and all that, but I've only read the first issue of the origin, but it's still just as good, and I recommend it. So if you're a fan of this type of stuff and you want some really good quality episodic mystery Spider-Man stuff, you gotta get it. You gotta watch it. But like, subscribe, possibly share, most of all, enjoy your Spider-Man show.